So let me try and sort this thing out. I don't know what's going to come back from this. That seems better. Seems like that reset worked okay. Well, somebody's here. I'm not sure who it is, but welcome to the party. As you can tell, we're back with a very different setup than we have been. And seems like it's working okay. So if you have any questions, go ahead and drop them. I'm going to give us a few more minutes to get everybody in here. I just sent out the link on Twitter and Facebook a second ago. I was absolutely fighting with YouTube this morning to make this work. Pretty stressed out. I have to keep the radio on. Hey, Ms. Robinson, I got to keep the radio on because I'm on call today. So at any point, I might just have to roll out of here. I don't think that'll be the case. Welcome to the second person who has joined us. I guess I should also send out the link to this actual YouTube channel. Ms. King. Oh, thank you so much. You're very kind. Breakfast delivery. Let's see. My channel is here. This is not the right channel. This is not the school channel I was hoping to use. But man, Firefox and Chrome are not the same experience. So when you go to my channel, it shows that there's a live video. So I'm going to put that on Twitter too. Man, I gotta that thumbnail is terrible. So welcome to our 3 viewers this morning. I had just set this camera up, so nothing is centered, and I'm having to like split stance it to be in the camera. Curious how classes will operate. Yeah, there's a lot of things we're curious about. If you don't log in and sign in through YouTube, you won't see that we're on. Okay. I'm going to send the channel link out on Twitter again. Ms. Crute, did you... I actually know why it's not working, but it's still frustrating. Just over 200 kids the last couple of days. Today felt like there were more kids, but there aren't. They're just in a specific part of the building. It's been very calm and very quiet. Students come in, they line up in the hallways with plenty of space. They sit in desks with plenty of space. We've only got, I mean, some rooms only have 4 students in them. Some rooms have 10. We've only had 3 or 5 kids who have had to stay when they don't have an exam. This morning is predominantly Math 1 with some English 2, and then this afternoon is the majority of English 2 exams. Tomorrow's Math 3 and Biology. We scheduled those together because there's a lot of overlap between students who are in Biology and students who are in Math 3, so then they can just come for one day and be done with it. So exams are going pretty well. Then we have a holiday on Monday, a work day on Tuesday, and then I don't have the calendar in front of me, but I believe it's cohort A. Cohort 1 begins on Wednesday, January 20th. On Tuesday, on the work day, I'll put a banner on the website similar to how we did at the beginning of school. There will be a document that as long as students are logged into their Wake ID portal, they'll be able to see all the classrooms. We'll use those classrooms for the first 3 days. And it's much easier now because we have all the advanced features of Google. So after the first 5 or 7 minutes, teachers can just lock the classroom. Kids can't go in randomly. So we won't have Google Meet bombers like we did day 2 of school. That was an interesting time. And then, we start with school. At this point, you should have received 2 emails/texts/ I think they just come in email and text. At least a link to the website with some videos Mr. Ship has made. Work the right way. This is partly why we had that weird setup last week. I tried to buy a different contraption. This camera keeps overheating or something. It doesn't really like being a streaming camera. Okay, so questions. There's a lot of good stuff over here. So, Miss Sparks, I did get to see your daughter, and it was lovely to say hi to a human child. It's been a minute. How will classes operate? So, we are working with all teachers. We anticipate that teachers are going to need to provide time. So we've got second period, and then students stay in that space for this lunch/transition window. And so we're working with teachers to provide space to plug devices in that window because interesting. So you have to have an account to use the chat here. That is so frustrating. We'll rotate from one class to another. And that is just kind of how it's going to go, slowly and surely. But we'll have power cords. Students are going to want to bring their own charger, though. Like if they have a Wake County device or if they're bringing their own computer, they're going to want to bring a charger, and they're going to want to label it with their name and their student number. The majority of computers these days are using USB-C, including Apple devices and the Chromebooks and the staff laptops. They're all using that USB-C adapter or the USB-C power delivery. And it's going to be a lot easier for those things to get swapped and mistaken and stuff like that. Some of the current teachers have told kids that in-school plan B will be just like remote learning. So they won't be watching the screen, right? The good news about being in plan B is that they will be in the building and the teacher will be there. But the teacher is simultaneously responsible for teaching students who are at home and remote. So the teachers are having to be in a Google Meet with the remote students while they're in the building with the not remote students. And so we're working on the technical and theoretical and pedagogical and other ICL ideas about how to manage that. Peers who are also remote, because we also don't want a lot of, we have to limit materials, right? So we can't set up labs and share equipment. We can't make copies and have a kid pass it out. So there's a lot of logistical safety concerns. So students will still be in the room and they still will interact with content on a computer. The difference is they won't be watching the teacher on a screen. They'll be in there and they'll be able to ask a question and the teacher will be able to say, oh yeah, check this out. So that will feel a whole lot more like the school thing. I don't understand at all. It's a hard question, right? Classes being in person. And it would be one thing if we were able to have teachers who only had in-person kids and then we could do this. But the way that the schedule shaked out, teachers. Let me do one more check down on what in the world might be happening here. It's not that long a walk. I just got to walk behind the computer to undo it. So to ensure kids got the classes that they wanted for the most part, it dictated that teachers have to be able to simultaneously respond to kids in the class and out of the class. And of course, they will have the flexibility. Some teachers will bring everybody in, check in, and then send the remote students on to do an activity, and then be able to do an activity with the in-class students. That's certainly, you're going to see that in a lot of classrooms. It's not just going to be, oh, we're here doing the same thing we'd be doing at home. There's certainly enhanced opportunities. But we are telling teachers to plan the baseline online and then think about how you can enhance the experience when students are here, because you have different opportunities. So it's not the same. It won't be the same. I understand the concern there. So yeah, they'll certainly have the flexibility to be able to do different things in class, but there are limitations with what we can handle and move around and stuff. If a child happens to be absent when their cohort is in person, they should absolutely log in and just be a remote student. That's kind of the beauty of this, is if your cohort is rotated in, but you have to isolate, you can still log in from home. And we've already seen some elementary and middle schools have to do that. Class will have to go home and quarantine because there was a student who had a positive test in the classroom. So then that one classroom is remote for 14 days. So I anticipate that probably happening here at some point. Do the kids need to bring a device for exams? If they have a Wake County device, yes, please bring it for exams. If not, they can use a computer here. You can't use personal devices for exams because we have a specific testing browser that we use, and that testing browser won't be installed. Yes.
There's a lot of buffering, and it's like cutting out, and people are saying that they can't. They're like getting every other sentence, and it's hard to understand. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's good. It's been frustrating on this end too.
I just wanted to let you know that that's what's going on.
So if you can hear me, I'm gonna stop this live stream, this specific one, and I'm gonna go sit at my table with my laptop. Part of it is I think the internet is really stressed out right now with all the kids in the building taking tests. So I'm going to go sit down there, and I will start a new live stream in the next 90 seconds. I'm going to copy all these questions so that I can make sure I answer them. So, okay, I will see you back here in just a second. Chandler Francis, if you will copy that and ask it again here in just a minute. It should be the same location. You might just need to go to the channel. The channel for this should pop up with the new live video in a second. Let me put the channel link in the chat here. And I'll be right back.